Alrighty, time to replace the old gas mower. Many of the safety features removed, just a little crazy to keep using it. So we've moved to a Ryobi 40 volt mower. We have some of the 18 volt tools for home tools and things like that. We thought about going to 18 volt, but decided to go with the 40 instead. So in this box, this is the RY 401017 brushless power lawn mower. It's a push one. It is not the self-propelled. 40 volts, 48-minute run time, folding handle, can do mulching, bagging, and side discharge. 7 position height with a single lever, which is nice. 6 amp hours. It's got the 2 times fast charger, which is I believe it's a 194 watt charger, which is awesome. Push button start and an easy to remove bag. And it's got a space to keep the extra battery. So this is good. So why did we go with the 40 volt instead of the 18 volt, even though we had some 18 volt batteries? To me, that's the ideal. If you could use the same batteries for your home tools and all your yard tools and everything all in one, that'd be fantastic. But we thought the 18 volt may not be quite strong enough for the yard work. But additionally, we have a lot of snow that we would need to remove in the winter. We actually have more area that we need to snow remove in the winter as opposed to how much we have to mow in the summer. A lot of the snow blowing tools use the 40 volt battery from Ryobi. So that just seemed like a good mix that would allow us to basically get one of those tools and have batteries that would be interchangeable. Plus also we got the string trimmer and leaf blower set. With the string trimmer, you can put on different attachments. It's expanded capable. Ryobi's extended or expanded attachment packs, different things you can add to it using the same base shaft and motor. That wasn't really possible with the 18 volt. They didn't have the same kind of capability. So there's pieces we'd like to use in the future fit with the expanded. Just gives us more options, and again, another battery in that ecosystem. So that is why we went that way. So what's this one? This is a set, it's a combo set. So it's got the string trimmer, which is the RY 40205. It says it fits most attachment capable systems. I don't know what it can use besides the expanded from Ryobi, but maybe. Got a quick change attachment coupler, so it's just very easy to remove it in and out. It's got a variable speed trigger. It's got an easy way to wind in more string, which is nice. They call it the speed winder crank, but it looks like it's pretty good. It's got a straight shaft instead of a curved one, so that could be good or bad depending on what you like. It does have a grip. 13 to 15 inch cutting width. Blower has 110 mile an hour or 525 CFM. Turbo button for increased power, so it's got the trigger for normal and then turbo to put a little bit more. And yeah, that one is RY4048. Yeah, so this one come with a high-speed charger like the mower. It just comes with a simple 80 watt charger, but the 4 amp hour battery and the 6 amp hour battery are interchangeable. Either one can go in the supercharger or the high-speed charger, so that is good. All right, quick unboxing of the mower. We'll start with the mower. Okay, once you're inside, first thing you see is the Ryobi marked bag and the bag holder hanger. So that's the metal piece. Grab that out of there and kind of catches on the charger that's just kind of hanging in there, but it is the 194 watt fast charger, active fan, active cooling on it, 6 amp hour battery, has about 1 bar of charge when it came in, so I did a full charge with it before I did a mowing with the mower. Yes, then there's the hanger and the bag that goes on it. I do try and fumble and put the bag on it later. It is a tight thing, and I initially do put the bag on incorrectly just because it's tight and I didn't think it went on the way it was supposed to, but it does there. Also comes in with an attachment for if you're doing mulching and also side discharge. It basically comes by default ready to bag, put the bag on it, but you can swap those out after. And then the rest of the mower is essentially fully assembled. Pull that out of there. Fairly light, especially if you're used to an old metal mower. Fairly light and easy to maneuver, the whole thing. You have to unlock both of those rotating unlocks to move the handle up, and then once you have the handle up, you roll them back to lock it in place. Fairly easy, fairly quick. There is a one handle adjustment for do the height, so that's kind of nice. It's super easy to move. My old metal mower, it was through rusting, so it was very hard to adjust, and you had to do each of the four wheels on their own. Real fight. This plastic on this cover is real struggle to unpeel or to peel off of there. You can kind of see the plastic maybe is not the strongest on the battery cover. It's not structural, a little flexy. Inside there is the instruction manual. So in here we can put two batteries. One battery, the location where the black is, that is where the powering battery goes, and the other one's just a spare location, so you get halfway through your yard, you don't have to go in and get another battery. That is the safety lock. So if you remove that, it's like a treadmill. The motor won't go, so you have to have that in for it to work. To run it, basically that's the safety latch and the push button. So you press and hold the safety latch and hold it, and then you press the button to start. So this is me struggling with the bag again. It just clips onto these wires, this wire frame, but it's not the greatest mechanism, and it did have to struggle quite a bit. And there you go. And this is how it implements on the mower itself. Just hangs on two hangers. Not the greatest fan of how that works, but it does work. It does function. It doesn't look like it's going to fall apart, but you can easily see that that metal frame should be inside the bag. I did that incorrectly. Putting the battery in is nice and easy. Pulling it out, also very, very easy, straightforward. Underneath, you can see the whole bed is plastic, single blade, but looks fairly clean and an easy install. So move on to the blower and the trimmer unbox and put the stuff together here. Okay, from the top, very first thing to come out will be basically the base or the power module for the string trimmer that you got on there. The motor and the trigger, the battery all attached to that. Basically all plastic. The shaft there is metal. Fairly straightforward. It feels fairly well constructed, even though there is a fair bit of plastic on it. Does feel good in the hand. There's a bag right at the top as well. In there's a handle, the crank to put new string in easily. There's a little bit of extra string, and then also the safety cover for the trimmer at the bottom there. So we'll add those on in a few minutes. Blower comes out next. Handle is folded down. You can fold the handle back up. Fairly simple and straightforward design. Just unscrew that. You can unscrew it a fair ways, and then you gotta pop it up. And I think there's a couple different angles you can have it on, depending on what you like ergonomically. And then just tighten it back down with the butterfly nut there. And you see the location where the battery rolls and slides into that one. That one has a trigger for standard use, and then on the top there's also a turbo button. So you're holding the trigger and hit the turbo button to get a little bit more juice out of it. Of course, that'll go through the battery faster, but that is what it is. Straightforward tube there for blowing the air. Just screws on and off if you need to take it off. Fairly simple, put it back on. Next comes out is the shaft itself for the string trimmer. So it comes with string pre-installed, some tape on it so that it doesn't slide back in. There is a quick feed mechanism using the green top part there for when you want to put in more string later once you run out, and it's basically it's running string through and cranking it with the crank that was shown. Yeah, there's lots of videos on the internet on how to do that, but it's relatively straightforward. It's also a tap to extend or provide more string when you're out using it. Depending on your grip strength, you may not need the crank, but it's there and provided in case you do. Lots of metal right on the shaft there where it all connects. You can also unlock and pop the whole piece off. That's nice and metal right there. And then the silvery metal, the shiny metal, is going to be where the safety piece goes on. The shaft is metal there as well. I'm tinging on it to make sure it's metal. The safety protector will go on there right away. But first, let's finish emptying out the box. So the charger is a little bit different than the one that comes with the mower. It is just a standard 80-watt charger. Instead of even a stand, it basically slides on top of the battery. So the little power adapter goes in the back of it, and it just slides on top of a battery. You plug it in. So it's not even like a stand you stick the battery into. I suppose you could, but it's really more just it slides on top of a battery instead. And it doesn't have any active cooling like the fast charger does. And then the battery. That's the 4 amp hour battery. Pop it out here. Fair bit of a size difference between the 4 amp and the 6 amp battery. They do look a little bit different there. Okay, I'm going to start putting the stuff together on the trimmer attachment piece. So this is, of course, the safety mechanism. A bunch of paperwork coming with it. It comes with some extra string and the handle and the crank. There's tape on the cutter blade that will cut any extra string. Probably don't need to remove it, but I did. Whipping the string around will do it. Basically, we'll mount into that metal piece. There's a single bolt to remove. It's hand tightened from the factory. And then attaching wise, it kind of just goes like that, but you do have to angle in the metal piece into the plastic piece to basically give it the one side connection, and then you tighten the bolt into the other side. It can take a little bit of fiddling, trying to manhandle the shaft as you put the screw in, but it's a very, very simple, straightforward thing to put in there. I do basically hand tighten it here, but I do come back with a screwdriver later off camera. And then just a protector on the end is basically a spring-loaded rounded piece of metal there that will go into holes on the main shaft. So there's 3 holes there, so you can angle however you want to. But yeah, you just slide it into the hole there. Just a really straightforward. Make sure that butterfly nut is loose enough, and it's just a simple straightforward line up, and then you tighten it with the big butterfly nut, and it is surprisingly secure, easy to remove, so I can see how the expanded attachments aren't particularly hard to use. Then you got the handle. There's no set spot on the shaft there where you need to put it, so you can kind of align it where you want to. It's also got a couple of slightly different angles depending on what you prefer ergonomically, just how it is set up. So just do a little bit of playing around, figure out where you want it, and then it's a bolt and a butterfly nut. So you take the butterfly nut off, try not to lose it, and then take the bolt out. And then it's just a pressure fit, or compression almost, to shove it onto the shaft there. And once you get it kind of where you want it, you put in the bolt, and basically there's a keyed location. You put the bolt into the spot that'll fit the bolt head. That way it'll hold the bolt when you don't need to use a wrench to hold the bolt as you tighten the butterfly nut. So you don't need a tool to put that on there. Giving it a good tighten. You don't want it flopping around. And that looks all good. All right, so now we're going to put a battery in it. Just slides in. Very easy, very straightforward. Just clips in. There's a safety catch and then the trigger. And it's variable speed, so you can go a little bit slow if you want, or go faster. I didn't want to go too fast near my camera. But yeah, nice and simple, very easy operation. Pop the battery off. You gotta release the clip and pull it off. Then go to put it on the blower. Now this is one of the design issues with the blower. I find it's a little bit of a struggle to get the battery into the blower. And then yeah, the blower is good as it's a trigger and a turbo. Blows well. My mic wasn't recording properly on my camera, so I can't show you the sound right now, but at the end I will have sound recording as I tested out the tools on actual grass. So here's a real problem, and maybe over time this will get a little bit looser, but I really struggled to get the battery back out of this thing. I still do after multiple uses now. To release that clip, you got to get your fingers in there to press it nicely, and part of the screw-on location for the hose end of the blower just is a little tight. Definitely leaving stuff on the grass there, and the little hard piece down there is definitely doing back and forwards. It's catching rocks and dumping it on the grass, so something to be aware of next time I use it. I'll just make sure that I'm not going back and forth over the rocks. I'll make myself an edge and go with that. As of recording this, I'm about 4 weeks since we had bought the tools, and they are working very well. I've cut across multiple different types of thickness of grass, some clover, lots of trimming, lots of blowing, and my impressions are pretty good. Battery life is great. I use solely pretty much the 4 amp hour battery at this point, and with what I need to mow and what I cut, I am getting pretty much all of it done, trimmer, blower, mower, and having about half the battery still left. So It is working fantastic there. The battery life is great, going super well for our size of the yard, which is not huge, but it at least our grass portion is not huge. Other positives: super light. The tools are super light. The mower is especially super light compared to the old gas mower I had with the metal base and all that kind of stuff. Easier to change my grass heights. The grass I was cutting in this video is new sod last year, so it's a lot thicker. So I don't want to cut it as low. So being able to switch on the fly is very good. Having the battery powered blower and trimmer is also great. While it's not a huge amount of grass, I've got to go over quite long distances. I'm having to use a really long extension cord with my old corded stuff and for the blower and the trimmer. So major convenience there. The only real issues is kind of what I showed in the video here. The mower has that flappy bit at the back that's basically a stone protector or a stone guard, so nothing's getting kicked back at the user. But the way it folds and flips back, and it's a little bit stiff, and maybe over time this is going to loosen. But if I'm backing up, of course it folds forwards as you're moving, and then if I start to walk forward again, it doesn't immediately trip to the other side right away. So when I'm walking from my gravel driveway out onto the grass, it's picking up some stones, and it turns around and dumps it on the grass once it does snap to the other direction. So that's unfortunate. It's something I just have to watch for. It's not necessarily a huge negative, just something that I need to change the way I mow for. So I just basically go parallel with the driveway for a couple runs, and then I'm back and forth the other direction, and I don't run into that problem. The other piece is also what I showed with the blower. On putting the battery in doesn't slide in as easy as I would expect. Doesn't slide in as easy as it does with the trimmer or with the mower. So it's harder to get it in, and then getting it out can be a little bit more difficult because of the blower tube on the end, and where it has its screw-in bump. It's just how it's shaped. You can't quite get as good an angle at getting at the battery release. So that's unfortunate. It's not a no-go thing for me, but that is unfortunate. That's a little bit of a struggle sometimes. So anyway, yes, that's all I've got for this video. Give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.